Hello there, and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live. This is episode 15, I think, recorded on Sunday, the 21st of September. Episode 15, Monk Fighting Parrots. Roll titles.
Wilson Waffling. Wilson Waffling.
Hello there, and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live on Sunday, the 21st of September 2014. Nice to see you all. If you are watching this live, then welcome, and don't forget that you can join in the chat if you go along to tinychat.com/iWilsonYSJ. No one's in there at the moment apart from me. Okay, but if you would like to come along and join me, then that's fine. I'll try to answer questions as I go along from there. Ustream chat isn't up because it's causing me too much lag. Of course, if you would like to follow me along on Twitter and tweet away, then there's my Twitter address that's down here, which is iWilsonYSJ. And of course, you are watching Wilson Waffling Live, or if you are watching on YouTube, you are watching Wilson Waffling Recorded. So, how is everyone? I hope you all had a fantastic week. It's been Freshers' Week at university, so everybody has been running around getting people induced, which sounds a bit wrong. Inducted, perhaps that's the better word. And we've had some really good initial lectures, getting to know everyone and getting to know academic tutor groups and things like that. And that's all underway. So tomorrow, the actual sessions start, real lectures and workshops and sessions all back on, and I'm really looking forward to it because there's nothing I enjoy more than actually teaching. So today's show is a little bit of a hodgepodge. I've got bits of this, and bits of the other also like coming together. Later on we'll be looking at an image of monk fighting parrots, and also, as promised on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, and also we will be looking at this week's Wilson Waffle to see what that was all about, and some interesting photographs. Now, before we go any further, let's start off by looking at the image of the week. Now, I did this a while back and I've come back because I found this unbelievable image, and this image is actually called, let me get it, Pecking Order. But this is, I love the title of it when it said Monk Parakeets. I've just looked at the camera and I'm a bit orange, aren't I? I've got a bit of a glare on me. Let's see if we can change that a bit. Let's sort. How's that? That bit better? Yeah, we'll go for that. We'll go for that. A bit darker, I think. And you can see outside on my glasses. Look. Anyway, here's a picture called Pecking Order of monk fighting parakeets, and I think it absolutely reminds me of the Matrix. It really does remind me of the Matrix, the position that they're in. So I apologize for the advert along the bottom, but look, monk fighting parrots. I know Kung Fu if you watch the Matrix, but look at that. I tried to get it as a background image, but I couldn't get it to copy across, so we're stuck with this purple thing behind me that you'll see in a minute. But remember, this is from www.the-scientist.com, where all my images are. And of course, you can always follow me on Pinterest, and that's where I sort of like put all my images up on there, and to sort of like show people anything that I've captured that I think is either brilliant and good and funny, or just good for teaching and learning or something like that, or just because I like it. Okay, So if you want to follow me on Pinterest, you can go over there as well. And remember, it's all the same. It's all the same. Sort of like capture name. It's all sort of like, oh, my nickname is iWilsonYSJ, so you can go along and see me there. Okay then, so let's move on and let's talk about something that I showed you a couple of weeks ago now. I think it was in episode 13 or 12 it might have been. And one thing that I was showing you is that I was showing you my ID cards, and I was showing you them from when I was a fresher for the 3 years, and I was talking about, what it would be like to be at university and sort of like getting involved in freshers and things like that. And I've put them all together on one screen here. So if you remember, here they were. This was me as a fresher. You can see me there from top to bottom from 1986, 1987, 1988, how I changed, what a handsome young man I was, my long hair going to short hair, even shorter now and more receding now. But it seems to have started a trend, would you believe? Because out of the blue, we had our academic liaison librarian who didn't have a freshers photograph but had her graduation photograph, and so popped that up. And then we had one of my colleagues decided to put his up, and let me see if I can just find that on Twitter. Here it is. Can you see it just there? Just there, yeah. So that was on Twitter. That's one of my colleagues, and then another one of my colleagues here, she put hers up as well. So it's almost like I get a feeling we've started a trend. I've started a trend, and I'm just wondering now who's going to be the next one to actually suddenly say, hooray, here we go, this is me as a fresher, or me as a student. So I'm waiting with bated breath. I hate to think. Now, if you want to see the full version of those, in all their glory, then by all means, pop along to my Twitter. And if you follow me on Twitter, I still haven't sorted these lower thirds. Look, this like cuts me mouth off. What's going on there? I'm going to have to do something. Either get for don't want to do that. Do you see my chins? Oh, good grief! The gym's not helping my chins. I definitely need to do something like that. Oh no, that's awful. Oh, perhaps I could stand like this. Anyway, ignore the chins, but I need to sort out this sort of like bit. I think this needs to be lower down and smaller or something like that. So I'll sort that out. But if you want to see those student ID cards full, then follow me on Twitter. Just there, follow me. If you're a student watching this, then don't worry, I don't follow you back. So I can't see what's going on in your Twitter feed, but you can watch mine. And if you do have your Twitter account set to private, then remember I can't see any of your hashtags or if you reply to me at iWilsonYSJ, then I can't see that either. Okay then, but be sensible with social media. You know the rules. So brilliant. So if you want to see the full version of Tutors as Freshers, I've started a new hashtag. It's called Tutors as Freshers. Rather catchy, I thought. Yeah. And just while we're on this, this is me once I had graduated. So this is me once I graduated. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, click. There we go. So that was me once I graduated. And I think next week what I might do is get that picture and the picture that I took at university the other year and put them together, because I've got sort of like the same hood and hat and everything on. So we'll have a look at that. The interesting thing about this photograph, this one here, is that it's not digital. It's actually not digital. It's actually a paper copy. It's actually a paper copy, so I had to sort of put it in my scanner and scan it in because, of course, we didn't have digital cameras at that time. Everything was done on film. So that's a bit a decade ago, so to speak. So let's nip across now to Wilson Waffling and their webpage, Wilson Waffling, and at wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and you can see it there. And you can probably see this down here that this is the same image as I got on my background, and I was going to talk today, or I waffle today, about my electronic toolkit. That's what today's waffle has been all about, my electronic toolkit. So basically what I wanted to do, I'm just going to zoom in on that so you can see it in a little bit more detail when we go back to it. Basically what I wanted to do is sort of like, we've talked about preparing to start university in the first week, and then I wanted to sort of like put a technological sort of like angle on it, and I wanted to share with you, if you didn't already know, some of the applications or software that I use to sort of like support my studying at university. And many of you might sort of like think, oh, hang on a minute, you don't study, Ian, you are a lecturer. But really and truly, I am still studying, and I'm still promoting my own learning and my understanding of teaching and learning, and especially e-pedagogy. And I'm still sort of like working on that. And so I still use a range of applications to sort of like learn, improve my teaching and learning. So what applications do I actually use? Well, the first one that I use, and I've used this for years, and I consider this one of the best applications for note taking. And there's lots of note taking apps out there, but this is the one that I've used consistently. I don't like the built-in notes on the iPad or anything like that. The one that I consistently use, of course, is Evernote. And Evernote is fantastic in the sense that it not only synchronizes across my all my devices, not only is it free, yeah, free. It's simple, it's clean, it's easy to use. You can organize all your notes into different notebooks. You can have umpteen notebooks. You can actually nest notebooks within notebooks. So I might have a university notebook, and then inside that I have each course that I'm taking. So if you were a fresher or a student doing a module, you could have notes, notebooks of each module in there. And you can record your sound onto it. You can take pictures and put it in. You can also, sorry, I was just turning off the other computer there. I don't know if you heard it because it was bleeping. It kept saying I had an email. So the other thing that you can do, if you wish, is that you can also clip from a web browser. And this is fantastic. So when I'm sort of like on the net and I'm sort of like looking at a variety of web pages and things like that, I can actually clip the web browser, the button, and clip either part of the web page or all the web page straight into Evernote to look at it later and save it. And it saves the link, and I can keep all my information there ready to be used. Now, I did write a waffle about using Evernote for references, and you can find that on Wilson Waffling. And here it is, look, using Evernote for assignment references. And there I go through how I actually use it when I'm actually working, and what I'm actually doing, and some examples of how I keep all the information together, and a sort of almost like a step-by-step process there. So that is the first one. So that was Evernote. So moving on to my next application. So this is the next application that I would have in my toolkit. So the first one was Evernote, and the second one, I need a task manager. I need something that's going to allow me to capture all those tasks. And if you know me, or even if you don't know me, you may know from watching Wilson Waffle, I'm a bit of a workflow addict. I like things like getting the book, getting things done, and things like that. So I have a task manager, and at the moment I have two in operation. One is Things, and the other one is OmniFocus. And I use these to sort of like organize my workflow and to sort of like make sure that I don't forget to do anything. And the I was going to say the downside about this, but it's not actually a downside, really. What it is that both OmniFocus and Things are actually iOS only. Okay, they're Mac versions, but being a Mac person, that's what I use. Okay, that's what I use. And no, before you ask, I don't have an iPhone 6. I don't have an iPhone 6.5. I don't think I'm going to get one. I'm quite happy with my 5S, although there might be some upgrades. I can't actually see anything that's different that I really want, but I will be getting, of course, an iWatch, an Apple Watch. Can't wait. Can't wait to get an Apple Watch. Okay, that is definitely on my list of items to get. Really looking forward to that. So these are task managers, either Things or OmniFocus, and if you go along to Wilson Waffling, then you'll be able to see the links directly to it. And it's a bit unfortunate because I can't actually get it directly from things like Outlook, which is what university uses as its mail system. But it's really good. I like using it, and they're a bit difficult to use to start off with. You sort of like need to get into the swing of it. But once you've got it and the process of sort of like doing your workflow, then it becomes a lot easier. The other one that I will recommend if you are on iOS is Clear. Clear is a really simple, clean, basic to-do list, and it's really fantastic to use and very slick, and I really love it. And when I found it, I thought, oh, I've got to use this, but I had Things on OmniFocus working, so I decided to use it for something else, and I use it for my shopping list. It's really good for my shopping list, and when I go shopping or when I suddenly walking around walking to work or around about, and so I think, oh, I need this, then I put it straight onto Clear, and then I can have a look at it later on. So far in my toolkit, my electronic kit, we've got Evernote as a note collector, and I've got Things or OmniFocus as my to-do list. And next I have this, somewhere to put my Twitter feeds. Now, anybody who will know me will realize I'm addicted to Twitter in one way or another. And you only need to watch Wilson Waffling live to sort of like get the indication that I like it so much. But one thing that I really need is that I need somewhere to keep all my tweets and look at all my tweets. And basically, I have two. I have TweetDeck and I have Tweetbot, and those are the two that I use greatly, a lot. Now, let's get this straight. This is not for when I'm actually just posting a tweet. Okay, if I'm just posting a tweet, then I'm more likely just to use Twitter on my phone or something like this. TweetDeck is what I use. I use TweetDeck on my laptops and on my desktops and things like that, and then I use Tweetbot on my iPad. And the first thing that I really like about it is that I like the way that it automatically syncs and updates. So I don't have to keep sort of like thinking, oh, pull it down, see what the new tweets are. They just sort of like appear. Okay, which I really like. The other really nice thing about TweetDeck, and I'll show you it here, is that you can get columns, and each of the columns you can have different sort of like different searches, and each of the columns sort of like update individually as well. And so, I mean, what I tend to use it a lot for is that I watch a lot of conference chats and international conferences, and I find it's really good for sort of like picking up events like that, and sort of like having a column with a hashtag on it, hashtag Towie, and actually sort of like keeping up to date with it as we go along. So I really like TweetDeck, and I think it's a very good application to run Twitter from. Of course, I do have some other applications such as my email and my RSS feed and Facebook and Messenger and things like that. But really and truly, Evernote and Things or OmniFocus and TweetDeck are my three sort of like go-to that I use all the time. And it's not a case that you should sort of like use these. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should use these. What I'm saying is that what you might want to do is that have a look at the system that they're running, see what the application is doing, and find one of those find an electronic kit that works for you, if you're going to have electronic one, a technological one. If you're still happy with pen and paper, then that's absolutely fine. But if you're going to make that step into technology, then those are three to sort of like start looking at. So, as always, you could follow me or subscribe to my waffles in the usual way. There's Twitter there, Facebook and email. I just noticed there's no Google up on there, but there's also Google Plus. And of course, you can listen to the podcast that I do as well as Wilson Waffling on iTunes. And of course, if you're watching this, you're watching the Wilson Waffling live version. Which brings me on to the next stage of the show. And the next stage of the show is when we get to when we get ask.fm, Ask Wilson Waffling Anything. And I published the link, that's a link, and I'm just looking at my phone now, and I'm going to look for the first time, do we have any questions? Just crashed, that's no good. Here we go, questions. Yes! 3! We got 3 questions. Now, one's the question of the day, which is one that Ask gives you. So we got 2, but I do have 2. Now, unfortunately, I can't actually see who they're actually from, but one was 2 days ago and one was 6 days ago. So here we go. It keeps crashing. It's not doing a very good job here. So I'll go to have a look, read a question, and then answer it, and then go back to it. So question number 1: if you hadn't been a teacher, crashed. If you hadn't been a teacher, what job would you have chosen? Difficult one. If I hadn't been a teacher, what job would I have chosen? Well, I was going to be a vet, but I don't know if you watched previous versions of Wilson Waffling, but in the end, I always wanted to be a vet, but then I'm just not intelligent enough. And I know it's sad. Here I should have sound effects, shouldn't I? I don't have sound effects. I need a mixer board. Yeah, I should have a mixer board. DJ Wilson. DJ in the house. I noticed actually that YSJ now has a radio station. I'm dying to get on that radio station. If anybody knows anybody who does radio YSJ, I'd love to get on it. Wilson Waffling live on the radio. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? I could do a show. I could mix some music together. I could do like an 80s music on the radio. That would be fantastic. With your host today, DJ Wilson Waffling. Yeah, excellent. So I wanted to become a vet, but I'm not intelligent enough to become a vet. So that was a known starter. And do you want to know, to be honest with you, when I was applying for university, I didn't really know what I wanted to be. And I remember my mum sort of like this giving me jobs and me thinking, oh, I'll do that. So at one point I was going to be a pharmacist. And do you know, I'm really bad at chemistry. Out of all the sciences, I mean, I like sciences, but chemistry is sort of like my least one. I no idea. I was going to do biology at university, and then I ended up doing social biology and environmental studies, which you know. So perhaps I would have been like a biologist. I don't know. I always fancied being a lawyer or a barrister. I always fancy sort of like standing up and saying objection or something like that. Or I wouldn't mind being a superhero. Yeah, a superhero. That would be cool. So, can you be a superhero? Is that a job? If I wasn't a teacher, I tell you what, if I wasn't a superhero, if I wasn't a teacher, I would be, and I consider myself a teacher now, remember. If I wasn't a teacher, then I think I would be a superhero. And if I couldn't be a superhero, I would like to be a broadcaster like I'm doing now. I would love to end up sort of like broadcasting like they do on Twit TV or something like that. I have my own show and things like that, which I do. This is my own show. And something like that, that would be fantastic. So that's it. So whoever asked me that question, thank you very much. Let's have a look at the next stunning question. This is a mathematical question. Does a cone have a vertices? I think it should say, does a cone have a vertex? Is that what you, do you mean the pointy bit at the top? Is that what you want to know? Right. Now, I probably get a whole load of mathematicians now emailing me and saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. But my answer to that question is no. I don't think that top is a vertex. I don't think it is. Because to me, a vertex is where two edges meet. Okay, and a cone, that is a curved surface. It's not a face. An edge is where two faces meet, and then where two faces meet, you get an edge, and where edges meet, you get a vertices. Now, to me, that is just like a curved surface. So I'm going to stick my neck out and say no. Am I right? It's going to look really bad if I'm wrong. No doubt somebody will tell me if I'm right or wrong. Okay, if I'm wrong, that's fine. We're on a learning journey and I've learned something. Although I did help people on Facebook the other day because there was a question, is 0 odd or even? And I knew the answer to that because it could be divided by 2 equally without any remainders, so it's even. And it's also in between two odd numbers, 1 and -1. So I knew that one. So if I've got the cone one wrong, then I got that one right. So that sort of like evens it out. Okay then, question number 3. Question number 3 of Ask Wilson Waffling. Last one. Oh, this is the question of the day. Which fairy tale would you like to live in? Oh. Now, is there a difference between a fairy tale and a Disney film? There is a difference, isn't there? I think fairy tale. The thing is with fairy tales, I would have to be somebody. Now, if I was somebody evil, I'm likely to get killed. And there's not a lot of sort of like male sort of like main characters in fairy tales. They always tend to be female characters. I like the idea of Cinderella. I think Cinderella is a really good fairy tale, and I think it's nice how it's sort of like she works very hard, but she seems to be happy, and then eventually she goes to the ball and everything, and the prince finds her, and that's. I mean, it's all a whole load of rubbish, and I mean, it's all soppy stuff. But I think Cinderella, and I would like to be Cinderella. A male version of Cinderella. Oh, I could be Buttons. I would be Buttons. No, I would be a male version of Cinderella. Cinderella must be here because I could smell her. So that was the last Ask Wilson Waffling. I'm going to get a background for Ask Wilson Waffling. So if you do want, I'm just checking to make sure there's no more questions. So I need to answer those questions and then post them. So if you want to ask me a question, then there it is. You can send it to ask.fm. My name is Wilson Waffling. I tweet it on my Twitter, so go along and watch my Twitter, follow my Twitter, and you can find it there. Now, that's almost it. Believe it or not, half an hour has just whizzed by, but I want to give you a bit of homework to do, and I came across this video the other day, and I think anybody, any teacher, I'm just blowing it up a bit so you can see it. I think any teacher should go and watch this. And it's Michael Rosen, and he wrote some fantastic books, and he has his own YouTube channel, and you should go and have a look at this because it is quite fantastic, and it's a video, and it's called No Breathing in Class. No breathing in class, and it's really interesting. It reminds me of the Don't Smile Before Christmas, but it's a poem or story about a teacher who's so strict they don't allow breathing in class, and how he gets through it. So, if you want to have something to do this afternoon at the end of Sunday, then go and have a look at No Breathing in Class. Okay, so let me just check the chat room. I don't think anybody's in it. No, and nothing new on Twitter. So a bit of a dullish day, but never mind. So I'm going to sign off then, and remember, you could follow me. I'm going to. Do you want to know what I need to do? I need to make a whole lot of pictures. You know, a backdrop for Ask Wilson Waffling, and a backdrop for things to sort of like how you can find me and things like that. And you really need to put some effort into this show now, and then try to get it up and running so people come and watch it. So remember that you can. I always broadcast live every Sunday, sometime in the Sunday afternoon, normally about 4 o'clockish now. It used to be 2, but I go to the gym now. You can't see the muscle. There's nothing there. That's why it's down there. But normally about 4 o'clock. Is it about 4 o'clock? Yeah, about 4 o'clock, 4:15. So if you want to join in and watch live, then that's fine. You can watch me on YouTube stream. If not, you can always catch up on YouTube at a later date and watch it there. And by all means, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and add any comments down below. That would be absolutely fantastic. Hope you've enjoyed watching or listening to this version, episode 15 of Wilson Waffling Live. And remember to follow me on Twitter and in the on the other social medias. Have a great week, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.